Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is spank the like button before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, Chris Whalen. He's a U.S. business tax expert serving clients in North America and abroad. The first consultation is always free, just like men going their own way. He's also a fellow MGTOW and will keep your pills red, but brings your books back to black. Reach out to Chris Whalen CPA today for all your personal and business accounting needs before taking care of your sexual needs. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number one is a real humdinger. A man tried to end his girlfriend, so he's been jailed for 20 years. But on the other hand, we have a woman that actually ended her partner, and she was only given 100 hours of community service. The woman wasn't given the same punishment because she was on a substance that made her do it. So she's not accountable simply because of reefer madness. This is what we call a gynocentric society. Moving on, we have a woman that married herself, then cheated on herself before blaming all of it on men. Because who else would she blame it on? Notice that she's got those ironic glasses and super short feminist bangs. She looks so proud of herself, declaring that men are the problem. It's like someone walking on a sidewalk and then tripping and falling and blaming the men that poured the concrete on the ground. Number three, people hate paying rent, but when BlackRock owns all the properties out there, they'll be perfectly fine paying for housing subscriptions. Wait until they unsubscribe you without your permission, and one day you come home and it's been given to an illegal migrant. It's all fun and games until you don't obey the powers that be. If Americans want to see the future of their housing market, just look to Canada and Australia. Up next, we have all the female groupies who like rock bands, it seems, but they all technically look the same. I thought rock music died a long time ago, like disco. To me, they just look like different variations of borderline personality disorder. If I had to pick one, it would be the head of the Epica fan with the outfit of the Pantera one. Number five, we have a single mother that's upset because her ex of 17 years decided to marry someone else, and their kids showed up at their daddy's wedding without telling her, and she was furious. He never married her because he said that she was a drama queen, and this proves it. Maybe in this day and age, he should have married both of them and made them sister wives, and had a happy polygamous family. Then again, imagine the horror show of divorcing two women at the same time. Moving on, we have the hairstyle that girls love versus the hairstyle that they hate. But these days, they'll take either guy, because how many Gen Z guys do you actually know that own real estate? Of any kind at these prices. Now you know why there are so many male virgins out there. No matter what your hairstyle, monk mode is the only way to go because after all, if women see you as an asset, then you see them as a commodity. Number seven, looks like the Swifties are taking swift legal action against ZV Bear, the man that's been making tons of explicit Taylor Swift AI photos. They'll probably get him canceled from his job if they haven't already. And he wasn't too bright sharing his name and pictures online. He says he doesn't care how powerful the Swifties are and they'll never find him because he uses fake numbers and addresses. I want to see a manhunt of people trying to serve him papers. Up next, we have a couple that say that swinging saved their relationship. What's the worst that can happen? He could actually turn into the next Destiny, of course. He might enjoy the taste of other man's schwangs when he kisses her, too. She also gets to keep raising her notch count while still getting commitment from a supposedly high-value male. I still think that eventually this is what's going to happen to this guy if she finds someone better to settle down with. Number 9, it looks like we have another desperate single mother. She's 41 and realizes how important it is to have someone by her side. Wow, guys, she's ready now after 41 years, and a whole list of men. She shouldn't worry though because she'll never be alone. After all, her best friend is battery operated. The filters are obvious too if you compare her face to her body. She's ready all right, ready for 2 feral cats and a toy dog. Moving on is a woman that says that dating mature guys is stressful because older guys just admit that they're wrong, apologize immediately, so they don't provide any drama for this llama. Now she doesn't know what to do with her anger. It just goes to show that what women really crave is to make men's lives more difficult, which makes their own lives emotionally easier. She's looking for a fighter and not a lover. Number 11, we have an independent Indian woman saying that she's independent because she doesn't use her husband's surname. But she does use his house, car, credit cards, and power. She gets half of everything if she divorces him, but only 50%. She must be being generous here. Remember that the richest women in the world made their fortunes through divorce. She sure is independent, because once she's in, then she becomes dependent. Are Indian women really like this? Up next is a woman that sent a man 159,000 text messages and broke into his home in the Buff. I'm guessing that since it's a news story, the guy called the cops on this crazy. She goes well beyond a stage 5 clinger here. I think the same thing happened to Keanu Reeves once. I guess she wasn't going to take no for an answer. Now imagine what would have happened if a man had done the same to a woman after being rejected after a first date. Number 13, the Women's Equality Party in the UK says that cuts to foreign aid will be catastrophic for women and girls all over the world, and the government must reverse its violent foreign policy. But how is cutting foreign aid violent? Also, foreign aid apparently helps women and girls. But what about the men and boys? After all, doesn't the Women's Equality Party actually care about equality? Moving on, we have an overweight and heavily filtered white single mom of 4 that says she's looking for a black or mixed man, and she says that she'll be celibate after meeting, and the guy has to wait. Looks like she didn't wait before, so why do the men have to wait now? In all honesty, she won't wait if he's better than the men that she's had before. The ones that will be waiting are going to be her kids when she pays the toll with Jamal. But seriously, wait how long? 5 minutes perhaps? Number 15 is a woman that says she accidentally had an affair with her best friend's husband. That she slip on a banana peel and fall on a swing. Imagine if a guy said that he accidentally had an affair with his wife's best friend. Who would believe that? Women want men that other women want. Women need to learn to guard their men better. Hopefully her best friend doesn't accidentally end her. Up next is a base guy that paid his girlfriend's college tuition with her own credit card. He says he's sorry and that he didn't know that she didn't have any savings, and that's kind of her fault, not gonna lie. I wonder how high that limit on her credit card is. He's probably a plumber making double what she'll be making when she graduates from her basket weaving degree. At least she can declare bankruptcy on those credit cards and not have to pay her tuition. Number 17 looks like Greta is rebranding because apparently she's not concerned with climate change anymore. Now she's been speaking at an anti-Israel protest where she claims that Israel is committing genocide. Careful, Mr. Beale. You're meddling with forces you don't understand. Maybe she finally found a boyfriend that pointed out the emissions in China as well as India are off the charts, so she finally gave up. She made millions saying how dare you about the environment, and now she's moving on to the next market. Moving on, we have the difference between the red pill and the Christ pill. Someone asked what about the Muhammad pill? But seriously, this is a false dichotomy. You can be both red-pilled and Christian. It's kind of in the roots of Christ and the apostles. The Christ pill has become popular lately as more men have become conservative. Unfortunately for them, less women than ever are taking it, so I don't know how that's going to work. Besides, modern churches are basically simp factories. They usually only talk about men being responsible and having duties. Number 19, we all know that Star Wars sucks these days because the Force is female. But if Han Solo was a real person, he'd probably say, the Force can go make me a sandwich. He wouldn't ask a question. He would just tell the female Force what to do, and it would do it. Because he's a space Chad. But seriously, believing in something invisible that controls everything, of course it's female. Up next is a woman wondering what to call this man after he got her mother pregnant and they're keeping the kid. Is he her boyfriend or stepdad? Probably both. But seriously, that soy cuck doesn't actually look like a 10 to me. Number 21 is what Europe will look like one day. My former middle school in Canada already looks like that 10 to 15 years ago when I went there to vote. That girl and her family will leave for Hungary or Russia and leave the Mohammeds and land whales to trash what's left of the West. This is what's really happening. The liberals are inviting the third world, and one day the first and the third world will be one. It won't be blacks but Muslims instead. Moving on is a waitress that didn't get anything for a tip except a woman she was serving told her not to call her husband sweetheart. If this woman is this insecure and controlling at a restaurant, then imagine the life of that man, what it must be like at home. It's called positive containment. She doesn't want any women being part of his life, no matter how insignificant they seem. Number 23, we have yet another single mother looking for a long-term relationship. Here we have another woman looking for a good man to rescue her. And she's probably looking to take half his resources as well, like she did the first husband. And speaking of my old middle school, when I was in high school, I dated a girl, and her stepfather was my old principal from that middle school. He married her single mother, and her 4 daughters came along with the deal. In retrospect, I feel bad for him. Up next, we have an inspirational quote telling us not to lose a good woman because she slept with someone by mistake. If it's not an accident, then women simply say it's a mistake. But mistakes make the person, and how good of a woman is she if she keeps on making them? That's like saying the car you bought has 50,000 miles on it. But don't worry, they are mistake miles. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Number 25 is a woman after 4 years at UC Berkeley. You can see her covering her hand because most likely she's getting the fake phallo surgery. She was feminine and could have found almost any man that she wanted. And I guess now that women can't find any good men anymore, they're trying to become the men of their dreams instead. Someone says they dated her, but Trump derangement syndrome made her loco. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Give this video a thumbs up to help it reach more viewers. If you want the memes I can't show you on YouTube, then subscribe over at my X account, where I post them ahead of time. Link is below. Also remember, I make these for free, so donate at the PayPal and Subscribestar links below for more content like this. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.